what came before the situation. I mean, they're still heavily involved at the club now, but the club wasn't always a situation where we had 400 kids playing and all flush with all these grounds and the high-tech stuff that we've got today. So these guys have been instrumental of helping us get to this point till now. I mean, like Pepi we played as juniors at the club. We're on the first teams at the club ever to have juniors. You know, Pepi's parents and like my parents come from the town where the club started from. So it's the DNA of Pascoval up with people like Pepi, and that's what's so important. He's had 3 generations of people come through the club. Like his old man used to play, and Pepi used to play, and his sons have played, and most notably, Stefan, and we've got his son Andre in our senior squad at the moment. So gone through that process. Nick Katsis came to us from playing at Heidelberg Juniors. We signed him as a senior player at 17, I think in the late 80s, early 90s. Both of them championship winning players at the club. Nick's also coached got coaching to our reserves back in the day, and he's also coached girls football at the club, and his daughters also play at the club. So I think it's important to understand how you build club cultures, and club cultures have started off with people like Pepi, Nick, and that's where we're going. And we just want to tell people where we've been and where we want to go. And I think this is one of the stories that's so important for us going forward.
Absolutely. Well, it's great to have you both on today.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get to all your stories, obviously, with the club and I guess your relationships with the club as well in just a second.
Yep.
Before we get to all that, Lou, just run us through the last week in Pasco Vale.
Yeah.
I mean, a big win for the senior men as well.
It was a big win for the senior men on Friday night. Obviously, we came off a loss last week against North Geelong, and, we had a big game against Bulleen on Friday night, and the boys turned up. It was a good game. The boys it was a very tight game. It wasn't much in it. We got the goal, we got the win, and we come home happy. And as we discussed on the show last week, we were struggling to get CB Smith on the Tuesday night. And Hoskin Reserve wasn't obviously up to standard to play a league match like that with the senior football. So our friends at Preston have come on board, and they've given us the ground to play tomorrow night. I mean, they're going to host the night. So I'd like to thank publicly Preston Lions, and in particular David Svetkovsky, their president, who's a really good friend of ours, for hosting the game. I think it's important to build relationships with clubs, and we've got a lot of relationships, and we're very fortunate that we're able to probably contact some other clubs that would have actually helped us out, which we in turn in the past have helped a lot of clubs out. So it's very good to have relationships in the game, and to be able to, for the boys to be able to go play at a ground like Preston on a Tuesday night, under lights, it's going to be a really, really good night for the club. We're going to come against Kingston. Obviously, it's going to be a very tough game, but if the boys come in and put in a good performance, we win, it puts us really in a good spot on the ladder.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Big game for the senior men. Obviously, a great opportunity for them to, continue to obviously back up the win last weekend as well. So, for those who are listening at home, what are the details for tomorrow? What time's kickoff?
So tomorrow night kickoff is at 7:30 at BT Connor Reserve. All Pascoval members, if they turn up with their cards, or the juniors and their parents, if they turn up with their cards, they get in free. Down, it's going to be a great night. The facility there is unbelievable. They've got which only opened 3 or 4 weeks ago, so we're quite fortunate to play something like that. It's got we know Preston, the surface is unbelievable, the lighting's great. We're hoping to get a few Preston supporters down there too, because they normally come up and turn up. So so for Pascoval people, please make your way down to the game. It's going to be a great game. Always against Kingston, they're a tough opposition. They're a dynamic type of side. So we're looking forward to that game tomorrow. But as I said, I spoke to Dave today. Any Pascoval member comes in free, shows their card, and they'll walk in free to the game.
Absolutely, should be an absolute. We can get a very solid turnout down there. BT Connor Reserve, going to be a cracking game, and hopefully the men can make it 2 from 2.
Yeah, the cafe. I've got to plug the cafe for Dave too. The cafe will be open. They will be serving food there. So if you want to come in and get a bite to eat before the game or during the game, it's all open. It's not just going to be turning up. It's going to be a full match day experience.
And everyone knows about the Preston canteen.
That's
it's always top notch when it comes in
the chilies.
Victoria. Yep, absolutely. Well, guys, Pepi, Nick, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having us.
Let's start with both how your journeys at Pasco Vale started. You guys have been there from the start. we'll start with you, Pepi. I mean, how did you get involved with the club? Tell us a bit about how your dad got involved and everything.
Obviously, my parents migrated to Australia in 1970. The club was already formed with the Macedonian and Vlach community in Australia. Lou and I were part of the first ever junior team in 1980. We played against Thomastown Devils back then. Partridge Reserve. We lost 12-0.
Yeah.
I was 11. Lou was 7.
Yeah.
He was goalkeeper, and we had white Bonds t-shirts with Texas on the back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, going back to those days, I guess take us through it. I mean, junior days at Pascoe Vale, how was that?
We were based out of Cole Reserve with one light tower, training 2 nights a week. And we had our coach Tona Angelovski there he was our founding member as a coach. But most of us players were all related, so it was fun times.
So it would have been like literally just, playing with your mates every single week and playing with family as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
unbelievable
really cool,
community feel, Like, I've known Pepi my whole life, obviously, but you're still friends with all these people 50 years later. It's unbelievable, yeah.
Yeah, so do you think, like, when you speak about the community side of things, obviously Pascoe Vale is still big community club, obviously. That's almost the ethos of the club. Do you think that's sort of where it all started? That's the foundations of it that obviously you've looked to carry through now to, what is now 2022?
Definitely. Well, I mean, the club's always been built on loyalty. And we've had a lot of loyal players, members, supporters. I mean, you look at even our current senior players. They've offered big money at other clubs, but they chose to stay at Pascoe Vale, and that's gone through over the last 20 years. That's been the scenario. So the club's been very loyal to the players, and the players have been loyal back.
Yeah.
So,
no, absolutely.
Yeah, the community feel is great. I mean, like, back in the day, our club was, like, I guess most clubs, but if someone would come from overseas, the first port of call would be the club. If Pepi's cousin or my cousin would come from overseas, I know it sounds all wog and the way it was, but that's how it was. They'd come over and they'd come in, they'd find a job the next day with a community member at the club, and that's how those clubs were built on, and you just don't have these relationships just by not having that ethos at the
Absolutely. Club. Nick, your journey with Pascoe Vale, a bit different. You came a little bit later on. Obviously, you came from Heidelberg. Tell us a little bit about your start with your football career there.
Started at Heidelberg on the 7s and then went through to play in the youth team. And then obviously it was time to make a move. So I had a good friend of mine down at Paco Pellegrinos, and we had a phone call, and he said, why don't you just come down and see what it's all about? And that's it, really. I've been here all my life. So, look, club's good community, good banter, and that's what kept me there, basically.
And you also met your wife there, Nick.
Okay, you didn't have to say that. Jeez. Yeah, no, that's true. And then, basically played there, I think it was a good 10 years, pretty much. Then coached the Rezzies. Had a couple of years off, basically. Sit on the outer there, a couple of beers and whiskies with the boys. And then got back into coaching, and then basically got 3 beautiful daughters. So they came along, and it all started from there, all the junior female football. So that was good. And then I think the best thing the club did was basically create a senior women's team. So that went to the next level, basically.
Well, you've coached the women's teams at Pascoe Vale. Tell us a little bit about that experience as well. Obviously, you've played with the senior men, you've coached the junior teams as well, but, I mean, the women's side of things as well.
Look, I had that group for a good probably 4 or 5 years. So we had them from little babies, and they, obviously grew up and everything like that. So, yeah, it was an experience. We didn't know what to expect, basically, you know what I mean? But everyone was excited about it. And first year was tough. We come up some really good competition. But the girls hung in there, you know what I mean? So it was a good learning for the girls and basically for the club. But we stuck through it, and we've done well. So we started at Divi 4, then we got to Divi 3. Unfortunately, COVID hit, and it sort of, destroyed basically a lot of clubs. But we're there again. We've got a new coach on board, Paul. And he's doing really well with the girls. So, and then hopefully we get higher and higher. So that's the main main objective, basically.
Well, how much of a rewarding experience is it as a coach? I mean, taking a team from when they start, obviously, when they're really young, a junior team, and taking them through for 4 or 5 years, especially, you know, with a team at that point, which was almost a foundation team at that point as well.
No, it's good, and there's been a couple of girls that have moved on and they're playing NPL. So it's really, you know, it's exciting to see that, you know, where they've come from, you know, and I've coached a couple of those girls. So it's rewarding, pretty much, you know. So, no, it's good. It's good. So, and hopefully, yeah, the main thing is we try to get to the top level. It's going to be hard work, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So as long as I'm around, we'll get there. You know, so... Absolutely. I'll drive it. Don't worry. I'll drive it.
As long as you're there, good things are going to happen.
We have many arguments with the president, you know what I mean? But we'll get there. Don't worry. So, no, it's good. It's good fun.
In terms of how you and Lou, obviously, you guys met a little bit later than Pepi and Lou. Obviously, they grew up together, but your relationship as well, working with Lou. So you guys have all been on the committee as well.
Let's do some full disclosure here.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Nick came to the club and he married my sister.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if that was his signing on fee or not, what it was, but Nick Cummins is married a sister. So it's a bit, and Pepi's like related, you know, from way back. So it is a bit of a community feel, like too much, but that's what's happened. So that's where the relationship has gone. So just for duty of disclosure, that's how it is. You know?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But I'll give you an example of, and there was many more that helped, but I'll give you an example of these two gentlemen beside me. So our facility at Hoskin Reserve, we looked at it, was looking very grey. It was looking very old, needed a facelift. So we decided to paint it on the outside. It's a pretty big facility. So over 5-6 weekends, led by these two gentlemen and a few people like Vinko, and there was many, I don't want to forget anyone, but that's what I can remember. They painted the club room. This is only one thing they've done in all these years, but they've done millions of these type of. This is just one example of they gave away their weekends for 5-6 weekends, because that's what it took, Saturdays and Sundays over a summer period, to paint the club room for people to enjoy. Now, can you imagine giving up your 6-7 weekends to paint a club room for the community for free, away from your family? That to me is amazing, and that's the type of individuals that the club gets built on, and people must not forget that stuff. So apart from playing, being championship winning players, coaching juniors, coaching under 20s, being involved in the committee, tipping in money, tipping in time, getting the whole families there working, go and do things like that. That's just an amazing story, and we need to celebrate that story, and that's why it was important tonight to get these two guys on, and there's been many more, but these two guys in particular, to say that's what it takes to run a club. And for me, that's an impressive thing, you know, and I really want to say thank you to these two guys, because yes, sure,
I've been after 20 years. Thank you.
Sure, I've been the president, and you know, and you know, been there. No, you know, normally I'm pushed at the front of the situation, but let me tell you, it would be absolutely nothing without people like Pepi and Katsis starting the situation. There's been a lot of people that have taken their lead and continued with it, but they're still there today on a Friday night. And I'll give you an example, another example. I mean, there's plenty, but I'll give you another example. We played on Friday night, and we're going to bump in and bump out at CB Smith, okay? So the grandstand, people just eat and just leave their stuff on the grandstand. So Pepi goes and says, hey, shh, boys, come in, and the goals have to be taken in. So what happens is they clean the ground. And the other night we had Pepi's two kids, Stefan Colakovski, who's an A-League player, helping us bring the goals in. So that's what his club means to these people. And I think it's very, very important that gets up. So we haven't forgotten what our roots are. The club has not forgotten. From those days when we were playing at Coal Reserve, where they were serving us out of the back of a car, buying beers out of an esky, it was illegal, but you know, all that type of stuff, to today, we've still got that same club ethos, and that for us is so important. And we just do not want to forget where the club comes from. So no matter how much success we have, it's, in my opinion, it's extremely important that these stories get told, you know.
Yeah.
And without people like these two, there's no way we would be where we are today.
Pepi, you want to add to that? I mean, about, your, I guess, role in that sense. I mean, now with what you do at the club, I mean, that's quite amazing. I mean, on the Friday night, so you kind of, you marshal everyone else and you do all that.
It's got to be done. Otherwise, obviously we share the ground with Moreland Zebras and Faulkner. The last thing we want is for them to complain. So I treat CB Smith or Huscombe Reserve like my own home. So I try and teach all our members and players and supporters like that. So it's the way I've been brought up and it's my ethos. So, you respect the facility.
Yeah. Well, talking about, I mean, the way you've been brought up, I mean, you were brought into Pascoe Vale through your dad, and now obviously you've had your sons play for them as well.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, the generational, sort of Colakovskis coming through.
Well, pretty much I played juniors from 80 to 84. Then in 1985, I played in the reserves. My dad was 40 years old. I played with him. Mm-hmm. Then I break into the seniors 86, and I retired in 99 as the club's longest serving player. And I'm proud to say that a player that I coach in the under-20s, Adrian Tallarico, will break my record. So I look forward to passing the baton on to him because he came knocking on the door as a 17-year-old, and he's going to break my record, and couldn't happen to a better person. So that was fantastic.
Yeah, and now seeing your sons come through as well.
Yes.
Obviously, we've seen Stefan make the leap into the A-League, but also seeing Andre as
yes.
well.
So I coached Stefan for 8 years.
Yep.
And when I coached the under-20s, I actually coached 3 teams for 2 years. Mm-hmm. So I coached the 20s, then I coached Stefan, then I coached Andre as well. Mm-hmm. So my wife Violetta became secretary for 2 years because I was at Hoskin Reserve 6 days a week. So she's supported me a lot over my journey. And it's come to fruition. Like, it's been a lot of hard work to get Stefan to where he is. And now Andre, he's breaking into the seniors. So, but not only them two, we've had, you look at our under-20s at the moment, there's 5 players that have come through our under-7s. And I think that's very rare you get that in an NPL team. Like Tomislav Vujabasic is the club's longest-serving player. And we've got Ethan Tasevsky, Isaac Lanza, and formerly Liam Sacco, who's gone on to play seniors at Strathmore. They've been at our club since under-7. So you come to Pascoe Vale, you've got a good future there.
What do you think, I guess, draws players into... You spoke about loyalty, but what do you think it is... I'll ask all 3 of you, but draws players into staying around for so long? Because I think about it, when I was playing juniors, kids hopped. They'd spend 1 year at one club, go to another, especially when they got to NPL around that under-12s mark. They'd always be looking for the newest club. Yeah. What makes people stay, I guess?
I think it's all about football. There's no politics or anything like that. So you're going there and you're playing football. That's the main thing. So you want to achieve from under 12s or under 13s to get into the senior football. Basically, I think that's what it is, and the good coaching that the clubs had, and you can see that with results, through the boys basically. So I think when I hear people talking, that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? It's like they play good football and a good base around. You go there, you do your business. You know what I mean, and you go home. There's no mucking around. So if you want to just go there and have a kick, it's like, don't bother coming. You know what I mean? So I think that's been around for a while.
Also, we don't have a lot of money compared to the other elite NPL clubs, so we develop our own players, and we actually let our coaches know, saying, "Hey, we're not going to go spend $1,000 a week on an elite player. Give our youngsters a chance," and we've done that over the years with our coaches.
And the boys made very valid points. And what happened over the last couple of years too, Nick, is that with COVID, sometimes there's a little bit of a disconnect, with NPL football, the way the system is, and I'm not here to talk about whether it's good or bad or any of that. It has become, from both ends, from the clubs and we're talking about the NPL, those 4 teams.
Yeah.
It's become from the clubs or the clubs and the players. You'd come, there'd be a whole heap of kids trialling, and clubs would just say, okay, those kids, we don't like them anymore. So it's become a conveyor belt.
Yeah.
For us, that's really come to a problem now where we're sitting there saying, okay, how do we stop it? So we put in a system in place. Pep, we put a system in place. We said we want to keep 80 to 90% of our own players coming through. Hence why we've got, 5 of them that were from under 7s, because we kept that 80% core squad. We would sometimes pick a player not just on their ability, on what they bring to the table in terms of their teamwork, the camaraderie. Because I think sometimes as a game we also make a few mistakes by just saying, he's number 18. We'll just get a better number 18. It doesn't sort of work that way. So we really concentrate on that. With the current situation with the NPL football, it is difficult, but we're really trying to reconnect with our teams, and especially, like I told you last week, with the Mini Roos community. But there's also people like Pepi and Nick around the place, and Jim Tona, the old man who knows every junior player at the club, who goes and shakes everybody's hand, who goes, and that's what we really want to create at the club. And little things like Pepi and Katsis, they talk about, I don't have a kid playing at the club, so I can make a decision. It's a football decision, you know what I mean? And other people don't have kids playing at the club. We can make decisions that are football decisions. So that's an important thing, We've always had people in our football department that have made decisions based on the best interests of what we believe is the football club. Not
the club comes first.
Yeah, the club comes first.
That's always been the
club first mentality.
Yeah.
And people see that, and when they see that, no problems. They're happy. If you have that open and honest dialogue with them, then it sort of works out well. And
you feel like you get people actually wanting to join as well when they hear, because obviously the best way is obviously through word of mouth, and people tell people, look, this is what we're doing, and they feel that. Do you guys get that sense too?
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's always been our vision. So that's why we always attract. We've had our NPL junior program's been up there for the last couple of years. Obviously, it's fallen down a bit this year. But that's been our motto, so it's been pretty good.
Yeah. Do you feel the same about that as well, Nick? Like, similar sort of, mode, you've seen those players start to come along because they're hearing about the great culture and everything else?
Yeah, even with the girls, you know what I mean? It's always, phone call here and there, and what's it about, and how, how they're going, and are they committed and everything, and it's full commitment. On the female side of things, that's where I'm sort of more part of. It's never been, like I said, come down and just do whatever. Coming from me, that wasn't me as a coach also. So you come in there to do a job, basically. You know what I mean? Let's not waste anyone's time. So, but that's what it is. We've always had the good culture down there. Haven't had any bad apples and all that. So that's what's good about the club.
Yeah, and you feel like that you kind of foster those players as well once they come through those doors, that they see those values and they almost they feed off that, and then you feel like that they develop as people as well.
Yeah. Even if the parents, you hear a little bit of comments here and there, oh wow, they don't do this somewhere else, they don't do this, you really, really concentrate, and focusing on training, I don't see that where we were. So that's good to hear and good to know from parents and also the players. Most important, the players have got to enjoy it. So that's what we try to do. And female football is very hard also.
Yeah.
It's very, very hard. It's not like the boys. You're always going to get numbers with boys, but with females, it's very hard. So, but like I said, we're there, and we'll keep going. But so...
No, absolutely.
No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
And it's an outing, Tuesdays and Thursdays and Sundays and Friday nights, going down to CB, and so it's good. It's good.
It'll be good once we go back to Hoskin.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah,
absolutely. Fixed, that's going to give us a really good avenue.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, guys, look, we'll take a really quick break here. Yeah. We'll come back. We'll dive into a bit more of your playing careers as well, guys. Want to hear a bit more about, your senior time there, spending time obviously with them for obviously being a longer senior player and obviously coming along as well. And we'll look ahead as well to tomorrow night as well, Lou, obviously with the big game there. Sure. And we'll do a bit more of a plug for that. But you're listening here to Paco Radio, brought to you by Settle. We'll be back in just a sec.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Ever wanted a career in football? At the Global Institute of Sport, you can now study a master's degree in football business or football coaching and analysis right here in Australia. GIS is the largest provider of sports degrees in the UK, with campuses at Wembley and Etihad Stadium. Learn online with unique access to the iconic MCG and a big-hitting Australian industry network. Be one of the first Australians to get a football master's degree and join GIS's global network of football leaders. Apply now to start in February 2023. Learn more at gis.sport/FNR. That's gis.sport/FNR.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants, and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Ever wanted a career in football? At the Global Institute of Sport, you can now study a master's degree in football business or football coaching and analysis right here in Australia. GIS is the largest provider of sports degrees in the UK, with campuses at Wembley and Etihad Stadium. Learn online with unique access to the iconic MCG and a big-hitting Australian industry network. Be one of the first Australians to get a football master's degree and join GIS's global network of football leaders. Apply now to start in February 2023. Learn more at gis.sport/FNR. That's gis.sport/FNR.
You're listening to Paco Radio, brought to you by Senol on FNR, Football Nation Radio. Welcome back to Paco Radio here on FNR Football Nation Radio, brought to you by Senol. Nick Tabano here today in studio. Obviously, the second episode of 2022. If you missed last week's show, it's all available on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Catch up with that show. Obviously, myself and obviously Lou Tona back again this week, and we had Alex Cobo as well in studio. Great chat as well about the senior men's team and everything that's going on there, and also his journey. I mean, he's had an amazing journey.
Oh, it was great to hear, isn't it?
Yeah.
When he told me about it, I was about to cry myself.
Yeah,
Eh?
I mean, his journey coming from, Colombia, then coming here and, self-made sort of coach and in everything he's done. So if you missed that, go over, check it out. It's a fantastic listen nonetheless. But today we've got Nick Katsis Pepi Colakovski as well in studio. Tell us a little bit about their, ties to Paco and a little bit about their, obviously they've been here from day one, through the seniors and still involved now at the present day. We teased we'll talk a little bit about your playing days, so let's get into it a bit about this your time as well, mainly with the senior men. I mean, you've been there, you've played the most amount of games for the senior men, and
14 years in total.
Yep. Tell us about those 14 years. I mean, there's probably so many memories, but if there's a few that come to mind, we'll start from there.
Break into the seniors 1986. I played with probably legends of the club in Boris Kjosic, Tony Centurano, Duška Necovski, Mirko Zanovski, Kosta Vramovski, Blue Thunder Security was our goalkeeper.
Wow.
Yeah, Nick Lazar. So being a young, skinny 16-year-old kid, it was a wonderful feeling. And we played against clubs back then, Holland Park, who are now known as Hume City. So it was...
Some big games.
Yeah. And we were based out at the Velodrome, Richards Reserve. So
it was.
We had
Big stars came with you too, then the Belagrunos brothers come.
My parent, George Belagrunos, two of the legends
players.
brothers, Bill Popovsky, Tony Eugenovsky, like I'm pulling out names here. Zoran Radenkovic.
Yeah, we had some great
Louis
players.
Petrovsky, Klimer Slimovsky, George Petrov.
Yeah. Well,
Wonderful.
I was thinking the other day, like at the time, the club had a lot of ties because the club's, the village that it started from is from Macedonia. We had a lot of ties with Preston too at the time, with a lot of clubs, but with Preston and, how many players we're playing at Preston Ground tomorrow. And David's gone and reminded me that they were all there first, and I agree. We had people like Luba Petrovsky, even
Tom
probably
Talevsky.
after you guys, Tom Talevsky,
Bill Pikolovsky.
Bill Pikolovsky,
George Petrov.
Luba Petrovsky was playing thing.
Con Upper was our coach.
Con Opasinas, what a time that was, with Oppa.
Jeez.
We had some great times. Georgie Petros played at our club, so we've had a lot of big players that have come through the club back in the day. We used to play out at the Velodrome. There was you between the fence of the velodrome and they start to walk around
So for those that don't know about the velodrome, where is the velodrome? Where it is now? Yeah.
So that's Richards Reserve. It's down the road, which is still our facility. So it went dormant for a while, but we've activated it by putting lights up there, by putting coaches' boxes, by putting goals back there. And that's going to get renovated now with this master plan I think I talked about the other day. So it's about 200 metres away from our ground. It's within walking distance. But we had some good times there, didn't we?
Good, yeah.
You know, but remember we used to get changed. The home team used to get changed in the cycling club's showers.
Yes.
So it was like there was all teams, you know, like Lube Petrovski had played National League and he's coming in the corner. Remember, Cats?
Used to get flooded.
Used to get flooded. The whole place would get flooded.
The whole place.
We've come a long way.
And obviously, the biggest. This is the game that pretty much put Pascoe Vale on the map. Is we played the mighty South Melbourne Hellas from the NSL in the Doherty Cup semi-final. Double header at Venetor Club.
Yeah,
and we were Pascoe was the second game.
First game was Juventus versus Preston.
Yeah.
Brunswick Juventus versus Preston. And we were the second game.
We were the second game. We lost 5-2. Our legend Danche Smrgovski got a red card.
Give it to Warren Teef.
Gave Warren Teef an elbow behind play, but that's the game that pretty much put the club on the map.
Yeah.
How was that? I mean, playing that game back then.
Yeah. It was a.
You played that day. You and Pepe both playing.
Butzianis was there.
Yeah.
I don't know if Clarkson played then.
Clarkey, I don't know if Clarkey was there.
Kimon played.
Kimon played, I think.
Yeah,
Warren Teef was playing.
Wow.
Yeah.
They put out their strong team.
Yeah,
we got the who's who of the time.
We were like 1-0 down with 10 men. I think Dutch got set the first 25 minutes.
Yeah, corner.
1-0 down, 10 men till, and it was 3,000 people at the Bulleen Venetor Club. And for us, State League 4 back in the day, it was unbelievable, you know.
Yeah.
And the boys were playing.
It was a good game.
Yeah, so I mean, when you guys were playing that game, see that there's a lot of times we see it now with the Australia Cup when, you know, we see a state league team or even a lower NPL team have the opportunity to play against whether it's a top tier NPL side or even an A-League side, and they have that chance to be on the national stage. How was that for being young players at the time and playing in a game like that?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, that's probably the biggest crowd I've ever played. You know, it was just...
You had goosebumps.
That was an unbelievable.
You had to look twice. Is that
I mean, to get there, because the NSL clubs come in like that week. Two rounds to go, and then they got to the final. You know, because it was only 5 A-League clubs, NSL clubs, and that was unbelievable. I remember Jim Pergolios was their coach, and I think they had Gus Salak, was playing, and and we got the boys did an unbelievable job. You know, unbelievable job. It was just.
We actually beat Faulkner in the quarters at Hoskin Reserve.
That year, Tony Eugenovsky and Bill Pavlovsky scored 72 goals between them both.
Wow.
Yeah. We would be 2-0 down, we'd win 5-2. It was amazing.
So, you still managed to score 2 goals against them with 10 men.
Yes,
as well. Yeah,
correct.
So, what was sort of about the game? Was there a chance to get back in the game at that point, or were they just consolations at that point?
Just consolation. I mean. We put up a great effort. We knew we're never going to win, but we just wanted to earn respect. And which we did.
So what goes through your mind as a player when you kind of know realistic, all right?
Yeah.
The chances of us winning are so small, but what goes through your mind? Is it just okay? You spoke about earning respect, but is it just all right? Let's just go out there, 110%. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, I think it's just commitment. You can't just go out there and, you want to blow out in the first 15, 20 minutes, so... But you're playing against the best. So how many times that's going to happen in your life, you know what I mean? And the game finishes that quick. And you're back in the dressing room, you're thinking, geez, look, what have I done? Who have I played against, so...
Are those first few minutes a bit nervy? You're getting used to it, you're coming up against those guys. What's it like as a player, I mean?
It's tough, very tough, you know what I mean? Because with so much experience out there and
quality,
and quality too, and a lot of quality out there also. And it's like, is he going to destroy me now? Is he going to turn me? Is he going to nutmeg me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone's going to laugh and everything. What's going to happen now? So you just got to do your best at the end of the day. What do? If he gets past you, well, just get a yellow card. So what else do you do? You know what I mean?
You've got nothing to lose. It's a knockout game.
I remember Butzianis, I can sort of picture it, left-hand side there. I thought, no chance. Just knock him over. You know what I mean? You can't. There's no way. Just the class was... But it was interesting to see how far they were, you know what I mean, at a different level and commitment. So
And what league were you guys in at the time?
Stage 4. Stage 4.
So was that the 4th tier at the time, or was that?
Yeah, well, so it was
all changed?
VPL,
Yeah.
Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3, Stage 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was the fourth.
Who was coaching
Fifth, actually, yeah,
Who was coaching?
Fifth tier. Yanni.
Yanni was coaching. Okay.
So it was also coached by another same.
That's my uncle.
Yeah,
Yanni Tulovsky
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much coached me out of the
Yeah.
14 years at Paco. Pretty much 12
12 years. Yeah.
Well, how was that being coached by your uncle?
it was hard. Good, mate.
Was it extra hard on you?
Yes, he
Because-
was. Yeah.
So what, like, was it just expectation? You know, like obviously
A lot more
family
pressure.
functions,
Yeah. There's a lot more pressure being coached by your uncle.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
we
you-
had some
We
great
had some good
times.
coaches down there. We had Bogdan Bonk,
Yeah.
Yeah.
another great player.
Yeah.
You know, Connor Pacinas,
Oppa.
you know, another good,
Connor
good player.
Pacinas, you know.
Coaching wise, not bad, but he was after party for Connor
Yeah, after
Pacinas.
party
You know what
for
I mean? So made a lot of money.
You look at the
bar.
coaches we've had at the club. We had Gianfranco, first time ever.
Yeah, as a coach.
Vitali Ferranti,
Yeah.
David Chick,
Yeah. All been very
Alex-
successful.
Alex
for the club.
Snag.
Alex Cobo, Luciano Trainee, David Clarkson.
We had a
so
lot
on.
of young coaches
Yeah.
that we've
Yeah.
given a go to, and we love that. We discussed that last week, and we love that, you know, and that's where we want to go. We want to go. We want to try and push the envelope all the time.
And I think that's where coaches, they want to coach the club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like you just should I go here, should I go there? No. I want to see if I can get the Paco job. You know?
Yeah.
So to have that as a coach, obviously the club must have something, you know, in the background, basically.
Well,
you know?
you've seen it. You mentioned all those names. A lot of those coaches started young, and then they've springboarded into something bigger.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, I mean,
yeah.
David Chick last year's gone. Now he's coaching Dandy Thunder, and Alex is a young coach himself. So, do you think even for like young coaches, they see that as something that, you know, I want to test myself? Pascoe is the right place to go to.
Definitely. I mean, you look, we've given all these coaches an opportunity, and we're not scared to do that. I mean, we've identified Nick Georgopoulos as I mean, we already know he's a great coach, but we think of him highly as a future senior coach, and he's got the runs on the board.
Yeah.
And he's working well with our under-18s coach Ivan. So,
Yeah, look, that's the way we see it. We would like to also try and develop coaches and what have you. And, you know, even with Vitali Ferranti, right? He was a player at the club, then he ended up coming, coach, and we sort of thrust him in it. And, he won Coach of the Year, Victorian Coach of the Year, you know what I mean? So that's where we want to go as a club, and we're very happy with the journey Alex has taken us at the moment. We're very happy with all the coaches on the journey they took us before that, and sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't get it right, but I think recently we've got it right. But at the time, Yanni had a job for life.
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
He had a job for life.
So how long was Yanni coach for?
Many years.
Yeah.
It was, at one stage there, I think it was Yanni.
Yanni, and then my other uncle, Vince Kolakovski, was the reserve coach.
Reserve coach. And then if Yanni would go, he couldn't do it. Mirko Janovski did it, and it was just, then we had a guy called Tony Vella. May rest in peace.
The late Tony
Yeah.
Tony Vella. I mean, if you look him up,
He was
he's
my
a
first coach.
legend of.
He was,
Yeah.
He's
He
the
was
one
at the
that
velodrome.
identified me.
So I guess your memories of working under him, I mean...
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first coach, like I said, and knew a lot about the game, so tactically and all that. So, and it was really good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he was there for a while, I think.
Tony Vella was there
Vella,
for a while. Yeah, Tony Vella was there.
and
for
got
a while.
respect from a lot of players. Yeah,
He's a life member at Green Gully.
Yeah, I think he played professionally in Malta. It was. If you look him up, Tony Vella's got a really lot of pedigree. He's a legend of the game. I think he played at Footscray Just. I think he coached there. I can't remember. So there was a
nice guy off the park too. So,
Yeah.
no, he was good.
We forgot one more coach that he did. Remember pre-season, Danny Atziski.
Oh yeah,
we had some great ones too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's. I think we always try and make football decisions. We don't always get it right, but making football decisions for us is of a paramount of our thinking.
Absolutely.
But you brought up that game against South Melbourne. That was it's just rewinding back the clock. We had some really good moments. I remember the game against East Brunswick.
Yes.
When we didn't get promoted.
Yes.
We had
East
this team.
East Brunswick Ivanhoe.
And they had Joe Montemuro.
Yeah.
They had Bobby McGuinness.
McGuinness.
They had
Cantanupa brothers.
Santorino left us, went to them.
Yeah,
They had that Rocky. What's it? The Rocco, the one in the middle. Pep.
Claude.
No. The number 10. That.
I think I know. Yeah,
Not
I know
Claude
his name.
Lucchesi.
No. They had this unbelievable team. So they were playing at
Belf
ground
Park.
called Belf Park.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know where that is.
Yeah, I know
it's
that.
a real small ground. There was no facility there, and they had a really good team. They had Fab Mancinelli playing for them. It's like for that level, they were unbelievable players, you know. We lost the championship there. So we've had some unbelievable times. We've had some tough times too.
Well, when we lost the premiership, when Moreland City celebrated, we didn't get promoted. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, celebrated.
Anyway.
we drew.
No, it's all right. You can let that one go.
Wait, so they were in the same league, or they?
Yeah, it's all right. You can let that one go.
So some of the happier memories. I mean, you mentioned there were some great memories when you were playing senior football in a lower tier, but you've had obviously the moments to get promoted and everything like that. Take us through some of those.
Well, I remember when we won the State 4, we beat South Springvale at their ground to win the league.
Yeah.
That was a great achievement. That was the only premiership that I won as a player.
92.
Yeah.
That 92. That's the year we played South Melbourne and all
Yes.
that. Yeah.
But we had
What
a
was
lot
the year with...
No, we missed out on
Sam.
Petrovic. That was the year.
Yeah, was that year?
That was the
Sam, yeah.
We missed out on titles a few times. That one there, that year, when we had Lube Petrovsky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did
I
John
think we had
Franco...
Tom Tasevsky.
Yeah.
We had Tony Eugenovsky. We had an unbelievable
Was it
side.
that year John Franco...
Boris Chorsic.
We lost John
Huh?
Franco? Was it with John Franco?
Oh, we've
Didn't we
missed
lose
out.
one
We've missed out.
point there, I
Yeah,
remember,
we've
or
missed out
something?
on a year of John Franco. So we've had a lot of close calls. First time we've probably ever been relegated was in 2019. So we've always had a slow, steady type of climb. And then I think we turned it around in the early 2000s. It's all started, I think, with when we had
Sinky.
Brian Sinclair.
Yeah.
And then we got
I think
Brian
the club
Sinclair,
changed
and then we
it,
got
yeah.
the Trebuzios, and then a couple of years later, V came as a player, and then we got Bogdan Bonk, and then from there we went to then Lutz Trani come, and then I think from that moment, I think the club's just gone from strength to strength.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you guys. I mean, you've seen this club go from where you were playing, State League 4, to then getting to being an NPL finalist a few years ago. I mean, right on the door of the best in the state.
were.
I mean,
1 minute
seeing
away.
this journey, I guess. I mean, how have you guys seen it from your point of view?
It's exciting. We want to get back up there,
Yeah.
I think we deserve to be back up there. Unfortunately, last year, whenever it was, COVID or something like that,
3 years ago.
we could have pinched it again. But I think the club deserves it. The way, like I said again, the way they go about things and all that, So, but we'll get there. We'll make the president happy. You know what I mean?
You know what it is? It's a desire from everybody around the joint. That.
We're not just happy just to sit, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
just like that.
Be
We're not like
content.
It's
we
like
want to get promoted.
we'll go with the flow, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, if it happens, it happens. But we're not it's like we'll go there, but then we want to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we get there, clubs talk about us.
Yeah. We're not silly to realise that it's not easy work, but I agree with Katz. It's a desire. It's a desire. It's a desire we've got all internally at the club. A deep desire. It's ingrained in us. That we want to be successful, and we had a lot of years where we missed out. You know what I mean? A lot of hurt in the past, but it's an absolute desire. And what we do, we believe we do well, is we're prepared. Everyone's prepared to roll up their sleeves.
Yeah.
If something's required,
Yeah.
there will be someone there to pick you up and roll up the sleeves.
Yeah.
And that.
We'll have plenty of arguments, but the job gets done.
Yeah.
But plenty of arguments.
Only with Katsis. Only with Nick Katsis we have arguments.
there's
Everyone
plenty
else we
of
talk normal.
Yeah, there's plenty of
The good thing is that people perceive Pascoe as a small club, but we don't see that. And when you talk to people from other clubs, they respect us for who we are and what we are. Like, yes, we know it started from the Macedonian Vlach community, but we're a multicultural club now. So we've embraced the wider community. We know our roots, but that's why we're successful.
Pep's made a very good point.
Yeah.
Moreland City Council has got a saying called "One community, proudly diverse," and we believe we encapsulate that very, very well. Like, we are proud of our roots and our history, but we haven't allowed that to get in the way of where we want it to go. You know what I mean? So in our committee today, there'll be a full, open, diverse, progressive type of committee, you know, and that's the type of people we want at the club.
Well,
and I think that's a good, very good point as to why we've also grown.
I think we just don't focus on Greeks, Italians, Lebanese, Turkish, and this. And, you know what I mean? Everyone's welcome.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I think the club's so strong.
Yeah.
Pretty much. You know, so it's very important.
Yeah. Well, in terms of where you see the club at now, in terms of, you know, making that next step, do you guys believe, just as mainly about the senior men's side, do you think this team is primed for promotion this year? This team is looking the goods in the early stage. How have you guys seen the early stage of this year?
It's tough. It's been tough, you know what I mean? But I think the coach has got a good squad there, you know, and I think they're all playing for each other. That's very, very important to me. That's what I think. You need a little bit of luck also. You know, some games you're not going to play well, you're going to pinch points. That's important. But I think let's not spruce it too thin, but I reckon we could be there. We could be there.
Yeah.
And it'll be a massive achievement, I think. You know? So with especially Lou and all that, doing all the hard work behind the scenes. Pat on the back a little bit, you know.
No, I'm not looking for that.
But no, like I said, you know, he works extremely hard. Everyone knows about it. You know what I mean? He doesn't need that. So, but I think we might, just a little bit of luck. A little bit of luck.
We just want to be part of the discussion. If we're there at part of the discussion, correct, guys? If we're there at the part of the discussion, that's where we want to be, you know. And after losing so many players to NPL 1 on the weekend, over the summer. It's been tough, and I must credit Alex a fair bit of this. He didn't panic once. I'm probably panicked a bit more than him. You know, I thought it would have been the more experienced one in the room, but he didn't panic once. And we want to be part of the discussion, and at the moment, we're a part of the discussion. You know.
Yeah.
The players have been loyal, like Adrian Tallarico, who's going to be club's longest living player. Clubs want him every year, but he stays. Adrian Mustankovic, every NPL club in Victoria wanted him, throwing big money. But he chose to stay at Pascoe Vale. So that says a lot, not only about the club, but about Aiden himself.
Yeah. That's also, as we spoke about, the ethos, you know, loyalty.
And that's what we really want to build up. And that's why, but we have to be loyal to these people by demonstrating to them that we want to be in the top tier of Victorian football.
Yeah.
Because you can't have this loyalty. You can't expect them to stay loyal, but no, it's all right. We're just gonna try and survive this year. We see ourselves as an NPL 1 club, and that's where we want to be.
Yeah, and especially considering when you look at some of the teams in the same tier splashing big money to get players in the door and, you know, increase their wage budget to get that immediate rise.
And good luck to them, and that's great. They're all going through the same challenges we have. Like we go for the same challenges, and I respect every club in the league. We respect every club in the league, and that's the club we want to be, where we respect every club in the league. But they are, you know, everyone tries to get up there, and as you can see the results of the league, we've only lost one game. We're 5th on the ladder. You know what I mean? It's tough.
Yeah,
you know?
And with the game in hand as well.
Yeah, well, we're playing that tomorrow night, and I hope we pick up the points.
Yeah, because obviously that will certainly help, obviously with that promotion push. Yeah. In terms of vision for the club, so we're coming towards an end here, guys, but your visions for the club, where you would like to see the club in, say, 15 years' time, and where you'd like to see how you guys have taken this club from where you were, but obviously bringing it forward, and how you leave it, you know, in the next 15, 20 years' time. How do you guys want to see where Pascoe Vale go?
Look, I like to see them in the top level. Not obviously A-League, you know, that's a different, different thing. But I think the top tier of NPL, you know what I mean? I think that's where the club really belongs.
For the women's as well?
Yeah, look, hopefully one day, you know what I mean? Like I said, it's tough, but yeah, that'll be massive. That'll be a massive achievement.
From our perspective, we'd like to see them there.
Yeah, if we can get there, you know what I mean? Like I said, it's hard work, but yeah, that'll be amazing. That'll be absolutely amazing. But yeah, both, senior and women, hopefully you never know. But one day.
Yeah.
I'd like to see us playing out at Hoscombe Reserve half the games, and my vision is to have 80% of the team come through our juniors.
Yeah.
And we're on the way there. Like our under-18s and 21s are doing fantastic, and now we want to get our NPL junior program to perfection.
Yep.
Because to me, it's not about winning, it's about developing. And coaching for 17 years, I've lost more games than I've won, but development's more important.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's where it starts. I mean, it's all through football. It's not just, with Pascoe Vale and everyone. I mean, development is such an important thing because, we lose players, unfortunately. Players fall out in love with the game, and if they're not nurtured, that does happen.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you have a look at Liverpool, City Football Group, AC Milan. They've all got unbelievable academies. They don't have many kids playing in their top tier, but that's a driving factor for us, and we hope we can break the mould there, It's tough, but that's where we want to get to.
Yeah.
But going back on Nick with the women's NPL, we do want to become a women's NPL side. There's no doubt about it, We're a while from there, but that's our ambition. So.
Yeah. No, obviously, I mean, it's more of the long-term vision of the club.
And we have the football IP, Nick. We have the football IP to be able to deliver that. So we've got to somehow get to a point where we can translate our IP to that.
Yeah.
But we're just going to get the team up to a certain level. Once we can get the team up to a certain level and transfer our football IP to that side of our club, then I think there'll be no stopping us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, we're almost coming to an end here. I want to ask you, Pep. I mean, just a bit off topic from Pasco Val, but Steph playing a big game this Wednesday and also on Sunday.
Wednesday night they're playing in Adelaide, and then obviously the return leg on Sunday. So very exciting.
Yeah. How's he feeling heading into?
No, he's feeling really good. So even though they haven't won in Adelaide for 3 years, so it'll be a tough game. But I'm sure they'll get the runs on the board and make the grand final.
No,
following
absolutely.
week.
Yeah, well, I think they're odds on at the moment, looking like a Melbourne Derby grand final, which would be great.
Good for football.
Absolutely. That's the main thing. Lou, before we go, just one last plug for tomorrow. Obviously, a reminder, it's don't go to CB Smith Reserve.
No, don't go to
It's going to happen,
We're playing at a BT Connor Reserve, home of Preston Lions. Please come down, 7:30 kickoff. It's going to be a great game. The surface is great. The boys are primed. Boys training tonight, getting ready for the game tomorrow. So we're really excited, really looking forward to it. It's an important game for the club. We need everyone down there as much as we can. The food's going to be open. The bar's going to be open. We have a couple of drinks on a Tuesday night. The hospitality is going to be great. Thank our friends down at Preston, but we'd love to see everyone down there tomorrow night. Yeah, even if you're a neutral and you're listening and you want to get down and watch some local football, I mean, Preston's the place, one of the best sort of places to go watch. It is. In terms of the whole experience. So, looking forward to it. Shall be a great game. Pepi, Nick, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a fantastic chat, telling us a little bit about your connections with the club. And again, thank you, and I hope we'll get to chat again very soon. No problem, look forward to it. And Lou, Nick. Thank you very much. Well, we must thank as well Senol, the proud sponsors of the show, obviously for partnering with us here at FNR and bringing Paco Radio every single week. We'll be back again next week. Plenty of special guests, announcements with that coming later in the week. But if you missed any of it, head over to the podcast platform, Spotify, wherever you get them. Full show will be up a little bit later on tonight. So myself, Nick Tavano, and everyone else here today, it's goodbye for now.
Thank you. Thanks, Nick. Thanks.
You're listening to Paco Radio, brought to you by Senol on FNR, Football Nation Radio.